Let's get moving. Feet nice and wide apart, toes at a diagonal. I want you to start with some little bounces. So just bend the knees slightly, little mini bounces. You're not having to drop the pelvis down really low, just little tiny bounces. Waking up the quads, the knees, let the arms dangle. And then straighten those legs, reach those arms up. Inhale, exhale, bring the arms down. Little bounces. Think of your pelvis just dropping straight down. Straighten those legs. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, arms come down. Bend into the right knee. Little bounces. Little bounces into the right leg. Nice and little, nice and easy. Straighten that right leg. Bring that left hand to your hip. Right arm up overhead. Inhale over to the side. Exhale, bring that right hand back down. Little bounces to the right. Straighten that leg. Left hand to hip, right hand up overhead. Bend over to the left. And we're going to go to the other side. So bend into that left knee. Little bounces. Nice and easy. And then straighten that left leg, right hand to hip, left arm up overhead, bend over to the right. Exhale, bring the body back to center, bend into that left knee, little bounces. And straighten that leg, left hand up overhead, right on hip, bend over to the right. Bring the body back to center, little bounces right in the center. Make them a little bit bigger and deeper. Take your hands, the inside of your hands, and I want you to place them on your inner thighs. So when you bend your knees, your hands are gliding against those inner thighs. And then come up. Glide against the inner thighs and come up. So you're getting that sensation of the legs opening out to the side. And come up. Open and up. Deeper and up. Last one, deeper and up. Good. Let's march our feet in place. Giving those inner thighs a little bit of a break. Giving those quads a little bit of a break. We're going to get into our feet. Find stillness with the feet. Rock forward and back. So you're going to keep a bend in the knees. Forward and back, lifting the toes and the heels. The arms are natural, so you don't have to follow what my arms are doing. You can keep your hands on your hips if that feels good. I just let my arms kind of go along for the ride. Find stillness, little bounces with your feet in parallel now. So your feet are on train tracks. Your knees are tracking right over those toes. Little bounces. Straighten those legs. Inhale, arms up, look up. Exhale, bring those hands down by your side. Wide legs once again. I want you to place your right hand on your right thigh, so kind of like you're winding up for a pitch, okay? You're going to take your left arm and you're going to do pendulums with that left arm, winding up for the baseball pitch. You're just leaning into this leg for support, giving room for that left arm to dangle. Reverse that pendulum, so give it a go and then just let it go on its own. Warming up that shoulder joint. And then find stillness, straighten the legs. Let's go to the other side. Bend into that left leg. Rest that left hand on that thigh. Start to pendulum that right arm. Winding up for a nice pitch. Reverse that circle. Let the arm do its thing, unwinding. Think of it as just unwinding. And come back to center. Bring those feet together, back to parallel, so there's still space. Inhale, bring those arms up again. Exhale, bring those arms down. Let's bring our right hand to our hip, left arm up overhead. Bend over to the right. This is a little bit different now because our feet are together instead of apart. So it's a more focused stretch here. And then bring this left elbow to your side. So bring it right to your side. You're going to bend the elbow, bring it into your side as if you want to tap that curve in your waist. Reach it up and over to the right. And elbow into the waist. Left arm reaches up, over to the side, and then bring that left elbow into your waist. One more, up and over, elbow into waist. Good. Bring that hand to your hip. Right arm reaches up overhead, lean over to the left. Deep breath into that side body. Then I want you to bring that elbow into that right waistline. Pull it in. So the palm is facing the front of the room. Reach it up overhead, leaning over to the left. Elbow to your waist. Again, up and over. Elbow to your waist. Again, up and over. Elbow to your waist. Bring that hand to your hip, little bounces in those knees. Release the arms, let the arms bounce with the legs. Find stillness. Legs are nice and wide once again. Chin into the chest, roll down through the spine, one vertebrae at a time. Go as low as you can go. If you cannot touch the floor and it's super uncomfortable, grab a chair and rest your hands on a chair. Grab a yoga block. Anything you have lying around, your couch, if your couch is nearby, just rest your hands on the couch. I want you to just feel a stretch in the back of the legs. Nod the head yes. Shake the head no. Relax those shoulders. And then you're going to walk your hands over to that right foot. Deep breath. Again, where is your weight? Is your weight more in your heels? Is your weight more forward in your toes? Find that sweet middle ground, that sweet spot right in the middle. Walk your hands over to the left. Again, if your hands are on a chair, just move that chair over to the left. If your hands on a yoga block, move them over to the left. If you're on your couch, walk your hands over to the left. No excuse to not at least do a modification of this. Deep breath. Walk the hands back to center. Bend the knees. Suck in that low belly. Squeeze the glutes. Roll up through the spine. One vertebrae at a time. Roll those shoulders back. Head comes on top of the spine. Keep rolling those shoulders. Good. Now, let's bring our right foot out in front of us and our left foot behind us. Now, I want you to notice that my feet are not on a tightrope. That's very hard to balance. I'm more on a train track, okay? So think train track. So there's space in between my feet, but they're both parallel, so everything is facing the front of the room. Now, the width of this shape is going to vary depending on your flexibility. So your left foot might be all the way back here and you feel a nice stretch in your calf. This might be too much for you, and so your foot has to be closer and you still feel the stretch. So let's start like your left toe is right behind your right heel. And if that feels okay, scoot it back a little bit more. If that feels okay, scoot it back. Keep going to the point where your heel is barely able to reach for the floor, but you want that heel to be on the floor because that's where you're going to feel that calf stretch. Hands can come to your hips. Deep breath into that stretch wherever you're feeling it. Again, your leg might be further out, your leg might be very close. Heel is touching the mat. If your foot is back and your heel's not touching, bring it in. And keep those legs on train tracks so that you're balancing fine. If balance is an issue, go over to the wall. Put your hand on the wall. Not a problem. Hip bones are facing the front of the room. Toes are facing front of the room. Knees are facing front of the room. Shoulders are on top of your hips, so you're not leaning forward yet. Good. Pull in that low belly. So think of pulling up the front of the pubic bone, dropping that tailbone. You're going to feel a deeper stretch in the front of that left leg. It's very easy in this position for our butt to kind of arch out, and then we have that curve in our back. We don't want that. We want to lift in the front, drop in the back. Feel that stretch. Good. Holding this placement, tailbone dropped, hands are on our hips. Now we're gonna take a nice flat back. So forward, flat back. Keep going, keep going, keep going. As low as you can go till you start to feel a stretch in your right leg now. I'm not rounding my spine. I'm keeping a nice flat back. Think of pulling that left hip back. Sorry, that right hip back. So you're leaning forward, pull that right hip back. Just a touch. You're gonna feel this stretch, trust me. Pulling that hip back. Now pull that low belly in and bring that body right on top. Front of the pubic bone lifts up, tailbone drops. Bend into this front leg and step the left leg to meet the right. March it out. How does that feel? I'm sure you're feeling that in your left butt cheek, your right butt cheek, your left calf. Some places you may not have ever felt a stretch before. Okay, find stillness. Back to center. Let's bring our left foot out in front of us, okay? Your right foot is back behind you. Open up, find those train tracks. You know, you want your hips to be squared towards the front of the room, toes to the front of the room. Once you're there, start to scoop back that right foot to find out where your stance is, where you feel the most stretch. So keep stepping it out until your heel can barely touch. All right, that's about it for me. But notice already, if you take a peek, this side is so much more spread out than my other side. Pretty crazy, but it's also making balancing a little bit trickier. Okay, once you're in this spot, deep breath into that right calf muscle. Find your balance, spread your toes. The more you spread your toes, especially the front foot, the more balance you're gonna have. That pinky toe really is a good kickstand. Pull up the front of the pubic bone. Drop that tailbone, increases the front stretch here. Straighten those knees. You don't wanna lock them back, so if you have any type of hyperextension, don't think of straightening them. Think of having a slight micro bend. But yes, we want straight legs, we don't want to be bent. But don't lock into those knees. So relaxed kneecaps. How about that? Good, shoulders down the back, pull up the front of the belly. From here, we're gonna lean forward in a flat back. So my hands are on my hips. I'm just gonna hinge forward as low as I can till I start to feel a stretch on this left leg. Pull that left hip back. Right hip forward, left hip back, go. Micro movement, but it increases that stretch tenfold. Now see, my body isn't completely flat. If you're there, that's awesome, but you don't have to be. I'm already feeling a stretch and my body's at a diagonal. But what I'm doing is keeping my core engaged, so it's taking any pressure off my low back. I'm breathing heavily into this left glute, hamstring. I still even feel it in my left calf. My right calf is still working. And then pull that body up, back on top, bend into this front knee, and bring the legs together. March it out. Ooh-wee. Take soft fists, not hard fists, soft fists. And we're just gonna hit the side of our butt muscles. So don't whack into the bone, whack into the meaty areas around the bone. Good. And then let's find stillness, feet parallel. Let's lift that left heel off the mat. And switch, lift the right heel off the mat. And the left, and the right, pedaling through the feet, left, and right, and left, and right, left, and right. March in place. And that was 15 minutes. I'll see you tomorrow.